Thank you.
Hi, everyone. We're being joined today by Chuck Tyler from Veterans Intellectual Property. We're really excited to hear your presentation. So
Thank you.
if you'd like to introduce yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm Chuck and I go by he, him, and I am honored to be the CEO of Veterans Intellectual Property. And what we do is we facilitate patents, copyrights, and trademarks and trade secrets for veterans, active duty members, and their dependents. We do this at no cost to them so that we can remove as many barriers as possible for them to go to market with their ideas. And I believe I'm being joined by Dr. Raisa Long, who is one of our pro bono attorneys. We're very happy to have her. And Jean Rumley is one of our veterans who has approached us to work with us. And so I wanted to bring on as many people as possible because the story is not just mine. The story is everybody's as to what we do with veterans intellectual property.
Great. Thank you so much. We're really excited to also be joined by Dr. Long and Mr. Rumley. And we're very interested in hearing your presentation. So you can start anytime you'd like.
Oh, wow. So, all right. I don't have like a formal presentation. I wanted this to be a general discussion on what VIP does and how we interact with our pro bono attorneys and with our veterans and other clients that come to us. I heard earlier a great mention about the UN Sustainable Development Goals. And I wanted to take a moment just to let you know that as a nonprofit that promotes innovation through helping veterans get their patents, trademarks, and copyrights, we fall under several of those SDGs. And I just wanted to briefly touch on them, and then I'll hand it off to Dr. Long so that she can introduce herself in more detail and tell us how her experience with VIP has been like. When it comes to decent work and economic growth, the SDG number 8, we really are proud of the fact that the veterans who come to us and are successful at getting their idea to market are able to not only earn money for their invention or protect their copyright or trademark so that they can continue to earn, but they also become job creators as well. And I think in this economic environment, job creation is really important. And I'm very proud of what they do when they get beyond us. The industry innovation and infrastructure, the SDG 9, obviously when we have ideas that go to market, we're able to contribute to that industry where that invention is originating from. Obviously, it's the innovation and improving our infrastructure from an economic perspective is very important. Reducing inequities is important because as job creators, veterans are able to reach out to their fellow veterans who traditionally have slightly below the national average of employment. So they're able to work with other veterans. They're able to lift all boats as far as reducing inequities, the SDG 10. And then my favorite, peace, justice, and strong institutions. Many of us are combat veterans. We've been to war. We've seen the results of that. We come home. We want to strengthen our economy. We want to strengthen ties within our communities and our country so that we'll be less likely to go to war, and we're able to increase economically everyone who is aboard with us so that, we don't have to worry about those inequities that create situations that cause war. So I just wanted to very briefly tie us into the global perspective of gift. I really appreciate being a part of this, and I want to next hand it off to Dr. Long.
Oh, I'm already on mute. Okay. So I am Dr. Raisa Long. My background is in healthcare, and I've made a career change into law. So my main interests are intellectual property and contracts and how they are both integrated together, if you will. And my experience with working with VIP has been phenomenal. I enjoy like interacting with the veterans and helping guide them through the process of protecting their ideas, their brands, and their creative works. So I think VIP is a great, um, organization. It has an awesome mission for the veterans that serve this country. So I like helping out and being a part of that mission. So my experience has been great so far.
May I ask a question,
Yay!
Dr. Long?
Yay!
Yes.
So I'm assuming that you have worked with non-veterans in this field as well. Is that correct?
Yeah. Yes, mainly.
I just
A lot
wonder,
of creatives and just basic, I don't like to say basic, but just people, entrepreneurs trying to get off of the ground and with these ideas and trying to help them navigate the system.
I was just curious then, how working with veterans differs from working with the other creatives that you do, and is there anything special people can do to help with veterans or with the organization, I guess, for veterans?
There's not much of a difference that I've seen thus far. Besides, I mean, the similarities of between the veterans and entrepreneurs trying to gather everything that they need to get to the end goal. I haven't seen much of a difference though. Yeah.
Good, thank you.
You're welcome.
Dr. Long, we're so happy to have you with us. She has been just a straight trooper. She came in to work with us. We're very happy to have her. She's actually led one of our intake sessions, and she is going to lead our next intake session next week. So just really happy to have her and her expertise along with us. And we're going to turn this over to Gene Rumley. Hi, Gene. Thanks so much for showing up, brother. I appreciate you.
You have to unmute your mic.
Yeah, go ahead and unmute, Gene. Let me.
Thought I had it unmuted. Okay.
There you are.
Both of you and everybody on the panel tonight. I am kind of learning about both organizations, so I'm kind of new. So anyway, I just share a little bit about my background and possibly why Chuck invited me here. I'm a vice president of the Inventors Council of Central Florida. And so I'm also an inventor, and I got a prototype ready, just about finished, and it's ready to come out. And one of the main reasons I got into this is I'm an international trainer with John Maxwell. I went on a trip to India as an entrepreneur to actually try to get products from India to here and US back to India to help with ministry over there, and ended up having my heart broken because I saw children on the streets and children in orphanages. And so anyway, my wife and myself, after making a second trip in there, I said, we got to do something. I don't know what we can do, but we opened a checking account with $50 and put it in there and told our family and friends, we're going to help orphans in India. They said, how are you going to do it? I said, I don't know. I'm just learning. So anyway, now 20 years later, 20th year next year, is we have 3 orphanages. We help street kids on the street. We go into the slums with the different organizations we work with there and help them, and also poverty villages. So that's one of my main things that I'm doing, and also why I invented, because when you have a charitable organization, the hardest job I've ever been doing was to try to raise money to finance that. So I thought, okay, I've got ideas. Let's see if I can get those working. So that's the reason I got involved with this. And so I really like the organization I'm working with in Florida, because we help a lot of people, whether they're veterans, they're women, they're children, whatever. They got ideas, they need to bring it to market. So I've learned a lot over the last 5 or 6 years being part of that. And also very excited about the organization GIFT, because I'm just learning about that. And I'm seeing these young kids when I went to the website, and I'm going, man, I've got 2 or 3 orphanages. I'd like for them to start learning about this and seeing what they can do. Because one of the greatest things I think we can do for children is add value. And that's exactly what you're doing with innovation, is you're adding value to these children. And all it takes is one great idea out there that can add value to many, many people, depending on what that is. And one of the ways is getting finance and everything else, because that's one of the greatest needs when you got a charitable organization or you're trying to do good around the world, like GIFT is in, I think, 61 countries I took a look at. I'm going, wow, that is great. And so I hope to get my invention out there, because it's a worldwide. I invented my first one, and I looked at it and I thought, okay, this is more for the US. And then I thought of a second one. So I put the first one on the shelf, and I went back to my second one, and I said, this is a global one, and it has the opportunity to produce more income. So I thought, okay, that's the one I'm going with. So I spent 3 or 4 years, because of chips coming out of Taiwan got delayed and all of those things. So I'm probably a year and a half behind my target date, but I'm excited about getting it out and getting it completed, and really excited about the veterans, because my grandfather was in World War I, my dad was in World War II, my son was in the military, and I've had a band, R&B band, for many years, and I had a great singer. He got drafted to Vietnam and got killed over there. So, you know, I from a veterans family, and so I know what that's all about. And also what you're doing with GIFT, I think it's outstanding, the little bit that I know, and I want to learn more. Okay.
Well,
Gene,
wonderful. Thank you for
Gene,
joining
so
us.
much. Thank you. Julie, did you have any questions for Gene?
Yeah, I just want to mention, you talked about the orphanages and getting some of those students involved and, you know, learning the innovation process. I think that's a great idea. But even before that, I mean, if you go on to the Global Innovation Field Trip.org website and click on watch presenters, you can go back and look at all 850 some presentations that have happened just in the last 3 years, and you can tell which ones are kids and which ones aren't. And those are the greatest way to show kids, because the one thing I found with working with kids is they think everything's been invented. And you're like, no, it hasn't. So sometimes just watching some other people's videos will inspire them, it'll stimulate them. And so that's what I encourage you to start with. And then, you know, we can help you with resources on the invention process. And, you know, there's a lot of different people out there doing curriculum for free that's just helping them go through those steps. And, you know, the more kids that we can get involved, the more equipped they'll be by the time they're a middle schooler or a high schooler or even in college. It's not going to be a new process anymore. It'll be something that they can use in their everyday life once they've learned to innovate and solve problems. So I'm excited that you said that, and anything that we can do to help you, I'm happy for us to do so. And then, of course, when you have kids that you're working with through the orphanages, if any one of them want to come on to GIFT, feel free to invite them to come and share. And innovation isn't always an invention. Innovation could be a lot of different things. What's most important is, do they think it's innovative? It's not important what I think is innovative, but what they do, because that's how you inspire them to keep going, is to reward them and to celebrate them for whatever type of innovating they are doing, whether it's a new song, whether they found a new way to feed hungry people at the shelter, whether they found an actual invention or a prototype and created it. It doesn't matter. It's the process that counts.
Right. Well, one of the things is exciting is we've got two, and the new orphanage called Tender Heart Village. We've had that a little over a year now. And we've got maybe there's a single parent that cannot afford to actually keep a child at home because they could be sex trafficking or things like that is big in India. But one of the things that's exciting about the children in India, they are eager to learn, and because they do not have the distractions we have here in America, they really learn quick, and they are very eager to learn. And some of them already in that are speaking English and Telugu and different variety of languages there. I have to have an interpreter every state that I go in. Most people don't know it's 35 major languages and 1,600 dialects. So, but the children over there are very aware and learn fast. So I'm excited about giving this into them. That'd be great.
I have a few contacts in India, and what I do know from speaking to them recently is India is trying very hard to become the innovative capital of the world right now.
Yes.
So this is a good time probably for anybody that's looking to help try to figure out how to fund programming for Indian students. I'm betting it will be a lot easier than it has been in the past going through the Indian government. So hopefully. And I did have a quick question again for Dr. Long as well. What happens at an intake session? What does that mean, an intake session?
So we do like two. We do a general one where it's more like we give in general information about intellectual property broadly. So we kind of break it down into categories, and the veterans can pick which one is more closely related to what they need or what they're seeking. So we talk about the trademarks, we talk about patents, we talk about copyrights, and then we give examples of, just to make sure they understand which type of intellectual property they need. And then after the general session, which is the general intake, then we break off and we set individual appointments, one-on-ones. And so we're able to answer specific questions to, whatever they're dealing with and what their needs are. So we have like a general intake, and then we have more of a specific one-on-one.
Okay, that sounds great.
Yeah.
I actually have a question for each of you. So first I want to ask Mr. Tyler. First, I didn't even catch the VIP until I think Dr. Long said it. So veteran intellectual property. I'm like, oh, I didn't even realize that. It was a great name, first of all.
Thank you.
So do you have like any examples of some of the types of inventions or trademarks that you've seen over the years that have been, do you have some kind of a like examples that you can share with us?
I'm so glad you asked that because I don't. We have been incorporated since 2019 when there was an Air Force veteran and inventor, and eventually became an IP attorney who started VIP in 2019 because he was really frustrated over how USPTO could be a little challenging to navigate. So he started VIP, he wanted to help other veterans, but because he had incorporated in California, he could not be a service provider to his own nonprofit. So threw out some feelers looking for someone to head up the organization. I interviewed a couple of times, was fortunate enough to become the CEO of Veterans Intellectual Property. And then we have seen the largest influx of individuals, veterans and military dependents come in over the past 8 to 10 months. What we've done is we've had an article in military.com, we've had a couple of collaborations to include our newest collaboration with Innovation World. So we're really happy about that. So as the word gets out about us, we're picking up steam, and we have pretty much every category. We've got some utility patents. We actually have a plant patent that's pending. It's just really exciting to see what folks are coming up with, as they realize that we are a resource available to them. Did that answer your question, kinda?
Yes, that's great. No, I think it's great, all the things that are coming up in the pipeline as well. And I'm sure COVID didn't help very much with getting things moving along at all.
Exactly. It did not. It did not.
But it's good that even though COVID came along, that it hasn't stopped, the
Right.
momentum, right? You just kind of move forward. And I think it's great to see. I'm really excited to kind of follow your the organization and see what kind of inventions come out of it. Really
Outstanding. Yeah,
interested.
we're going to be posting success stories as they come along. And yeah, please continue to follow us.
Yeah, so if you have your website, I think maybe you could pop it into the chat so that we can have it, and then we can promote that through gift, I think, as well. Right, Julie?
What we do, we will, and we'll put it on the end of this recording as well, but you can also say it out loud because people won't see the chat, but they will listen to what you say, and we'll have it as well. Oh, that's a hard one. What? Is that right?
I know, right? It's so difficult. veteransip.org.
Now you sound like a commercial.
So thank you, Mr. Tyler. Dr. Long, I had a question for you. When you have your intake sessions, for example, how many people on average would come, say, I don't know, either monthly or yearly? Do you have like a number of approximately how many people would be in attendance?
Sure. So we do intakes, like general intakes, twice a month. So they're like every other week on just a particular day, so we can maximize time and efficiency. And per general intake, I would say between 10 and 15. So that's a total of 20 to 30 in a month. And then if anyone needs to do the one-on-ones, and then we try to schedule those throughout the week. So yeah,
that's a really high. Wow, I think that's quite a high number of people showing interest or coming in and applying, which is really great. So I think that's a lot of promise and a lot of really exciting things for the coming forward, right?
It is.
Absolutely. And thank you, Dr. Long, for reminding me to give a shout out to our other pro bono attorney who's been working really closely with us over the past couple of months, Dr. Diana Portna, who is from the Ukraine, and she is transitioning her IP. I think she's got like 20 years of trademark experience that she's bringing over into the United States, partnering with a law firm, and she's contributing her pro bono hours to us. This month, she has gone back to the Ukraine to see her parents, so we are keeping her in our thoughts for safe travels. But thank you very much for reminding me of that, Dr. Long. Thank you.
You're welcome.
And I had one question for Mr. Rumley. Actually, not a question, it was a comment. I'm myself personally very interested in intergenerational kind of collaboration. And I really feel like this idea of having veterans, come up with all these different inventions and trademarks and copyrights, and working with kids, like you have the children in India that you work with. I really feel that's kind of a very innovative area that's been ignored, that kind of collaboration between the generations. And I really am excited to see how you're taking that forward. And I really think that gift is definitely a nice way to promote that as well.
Yes, I think that the children's got such creativity in them. They just need to bring it out and know what to do and all of those things. And that's amazing. And that's the most exciting thing that I do when I go there. I not only just meet them and see how they're doing and meet with all the people that's running the orphanage, is I always speak to them and try to encourage them and add value to their life in some kind of way. And didn't think about this till I saw Gift. I thought, hey, what am I missing here? Because I'm relatively new in the invention process myself. So I didn't think about going into that side of things. But one of the greatest needs we have also was I'm trying to raise money for is we've got 4 orphan girls that's aged out. So when they reach 18, unless they have, and most of them do not have the money to go to college and that type of thing. So we are really starting with this newest orphans to do a lot of vocational type training. You know, what can they do when they get out? We've got 2 in nursing school and that type of thing also. But we got 4 Indian daughters now that call us mom and dad that were, you know, so these are girls also that I'm telling you, hey, be in there cheering for us, because we get our invention out, we're going to be able to help you more and maybe get into school or advanced training and that type of thing. But they're very sharp and they want to get ahead, and that's really encouraging, because they haven't had a lot of encouragement, most of them, when they get in. So. And even the team I work with got very encouraged. I don't know if any of you have seen Slumdog Millionaire, but if you saw that, one of the scenes in there is in Mumbai, India. It's a trash dump there, and it's the largest in the world, actually. And it is dominated by Indians, Muslim, different nationalities in there. And they all come to Mumbai trying to get work. And sometimes they do not get work, or they can't afford housing. So they go in there. So I went in there when they started opening up, and the team I work with converted a school bus and put a little drop down table on the back of the seat, and they loaded food in the back of it. So they feed them 1 meal a day, because some kids don't even get 1 meal a day. And then they educate them for an hour in math and English and other things. And they cannot even go to school until they got that basic, and also then get a uniform. So once they do that, they can go in. So the team then finally, over several years now, have actually opened up schools right in the slums. And those kids are really coming to light. I mean, it's amazing what they're doing and how fast they're learning and things like that. They're just hungry for it. So this is just to add another label, another layer, I should say.
So thank you so much. I really appreciate everybody coming here today. And Julie, I turn it over to you.
Yeah, thank you very much. Chuck, I am so happy that we met, may have been just a week ago now. I'm not even sure, a week or 2 ago.
Absolutely.
And,
It's a bad Army habit. We move with furious speed and a lot of noise.
No, that's okay. I don't mind. Being a Air Force brat myself, I think I'm kind of used to that.
Absolutely. Thanks so much for having us.
Thank you so much. And Dr. Long, thank you. Mr. Rumley, thank you.